There's this amazing plant in the garden that the bees absolutely swarm over. And I personally think it is one of the easiest plants you can ever grow. So easy that I have grown it accidentally numerous times. And there is one more great thing about this plant, and that is that it is edible. So what is this wonderful plant, which is absolutely not a great deal to look at, to be honest, but it is such a hidden gem that it should be an essential in everyone's garden. And that is oregano. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I thought oregano was some sort of difficult to grow Mediterranean herb, probably more difficult to grow than basil. And, I did not think it was hardy at all in a UK climate. But I was wrong about all those things, because when I first started gardening back in the day, I didn't always used to grow everything from seed. And I bought this oregano from a garden centre along with lots of other garden centre plants and herbs. And this one is still going years later, and I've hacked away at it, I've divided it, and it's seen some pretty hard winters, and it comes back every single year, no problemo. And then the last couple of years, I started just experimenting with collecting the seed heads and just sort of sprinkling them on soil while I was sowing everything else, and blow me down, they just grew like the clappers. Every single seed germinated, and I've been able to grow other plants from the seeds that I've given away to people locally or friends and family. This year I decided to actually keep one of my babies that I grew and have another oregano in the garden, and that is for the pollinators. Having observed over the years how much pollinators really love this oregano, I decided that I could do with double the amount, and I may even have more next year. I'm going to see how this new one goes. But every year when the little flowers come, the oregano is absolutely covered with bees. It usually attracts one particular bee that covers it, and then there are other bees that come and visit. But it also attracts a particular butterfly, a little orange, like rust-coloured butterfly, which I've never seen before, but that seems to love the oregano as well. Now, I'm sure wherever you grow it, you will have your own specific pollinators that will enjoy the oregano flowers. So for that reason alone, I would recommend oregano. I would also recommend it if you're container growing, or if you only have a small space, or maybe even a small rockery, because it kind of grows low, but it will grow wide. So it will take up about, I would say, eventually when it matures and gets big and the flowers grow through the summer, it gets to about a metre in diameter at its biggest and bushiest. And it grows on sort of long stems, but they kind of hang low. They don't grow upright tall, like, say, for instance, a rose bush does. So it's a really good plant for a smallish space. And even if you have a smaller space, you can, of course, cut it back and harvest it to keep it smaller. Now, on that note, if you cut it back before it's flowered, then it won't flower. I mean, it's as simple as that. So you really do want to get the best out of the oregano for the pollinators. You really are just going to have to let it go a little bit wild, and it grows a little bit sort of like a mop. It gets really quite big and spreads quite wide, and then it will flower. And then after that, if you really can't stand it anymore, you can cut it back and it will grow again back from the base. But I leave mine because that way I can harvest the seeds after the flowers have finished. It's such an easy, quick growing plant. It seems ridiculous actually not to grow it, but I think we've lost a lot of skills about growing. We just automatically go to the garden centre or the supermarket when we need something. But if you knew how easy this was to grow, you would never buy dried oregano again from a jar. And of course, you can dry it. So let's talk about it as an edible plant. So of course we know it as a dried herb most commonly in the little jars. And I don't really personally like that particular flavour, but it tastes completely different fresh. It tastes almost more like basil when it's fresh. So it's a completely different flavour, and I prefer it fresh. The only thing with it being is it is still more of a flavouring rather than a leaf that you would just bite into, because the texture of the leaf leaf is a little bit not to my taste, but the flavour is great. The fresh flavour is great. So you might want to think about how you would use that. Certainly use it for flavouring soups and stews, and even sprinkling on salads, or even sprinkling on a savoury dish just as a garnish, instead of using your typical sort of basil, parsley, etc. But it's also a powerful antioxidant, especially if you're growing it organically, as I do. It also is a natural antibacterial, so especially if you distill it into an oil. It also has anti-inflammatory properties, which in all honesty, I think a lot of actually fresh grown fruits, vegetables, herbs, etc. have many of these attributes, simply because they haven't been processed if you've grown them organically. Again, you know, as a homegrown organic product, it also supports, you know, digestive health, and can apparently, according to studies, help reduce bloating and indigestion. And one of the ways you could consume it is as a herbal tea to help settle your stomach, etc. If you steep those fresh leaves, particularly in hot water, and drink it as a tea. And this will also work as an immune system booster. So it's like anything sort of fresh and healthy and organic, but I think there's something about these kind of more woody herbs that have that kind of extra boost. Now, I'm just literally plucking that out of my head. I have no science to say that the woody herbs are better, but the rosemaries and the oreganos, etc. I just feel that, and the mints, because oregano is part of the mint family, I think they just have that kind of extra, I don't know, je ne sais quoi when it comes to dealing with these kind of immune system, anti-inflammatory responses, etc. And even as a flavouring in tea, they just work really well. Now, if you want to dry your oregano, you really want to do it just before the plant flowers. So this is a good reason really to have at least 2 plants in the garden, one for the pollinators that you allow to flower, and one that you want to harvest, maybe to use the leaves in soups and stews and to dry. The leaves are of course at their best before the plant flowers. They have the best flavour then, when the plant is still young. You should do it sort of mid-morning on a dry day. Don't collect it when the leaves are wet, and you don't want the oils inside the leaves to be too hot, so you don't want to do it in the middle of the day on a baking hot day either. You can safely harvest quite a lot of the plant, but I recommend probably only up to about a third, and it will rejuvenate from the base, so you don't need to worry too much, and that will leave the other 2/3, if you don't have a second plant, to flower, and that will still attract the pollinators. You'll get quite a lot of dried oregano from those leaves, and don't forget, as they dry, that kind of the potency gets kind of a bit stronger, so you only need a tiny amount to flavour soups, stews, pizzas, etc., breads, whatever. So cut 4 to 6 inch length stems, and then give them a shake. Dry them if they do have any kind of moisture on them. You don't want to have mould when you're trying to dry them. Then you'll just strip a little bit of the stem at the bottom, a wooded part of the woody stem, and just tie 5 to 10 stems together and hang them upside down in a well ventilated dry area. Pantry or a closet will do. I tend to do all my drying in my upstairs room in my garage. Keep them out of direct sunlight. That will affect the flavour and the colour, because it will disintegrate the oils, etc. Then you can obviously store them if you like. It will take about 7 to 14 days for them to dry, and you'll know when they're dry because they'll just crumble easily in your fingers. And then you can just use them. You can either put them in a jar or just use them as and when you need them from the drying bunch. I think putting them in a jar is a good idea so that they don't get too stale. But you can also do them if you have one of those dehydrator things, you can also sort of dry them in there or on a very low setting in the oven. But I honestly wouldn't bother. I think natural drying is the best. But just a few extra notes. Oregano is a perennial, so once you've got it established in your garden, it's going to come back every year. You can divide it like a perennial in the winter or spring by splitting the clumps into 2, but it's so easy to start from seed. If you've let it flower, and you can collect those seeds when they're dry, just sprinkle them on top of almost any compost, keep them moist until the seedlings appear, and then obviously prick them out, and you will just get so many plants from that. It's so easy that it's actually the way I recommend now growing oregano. I have divided oregano before, and I've tried to propagate cuttings. When you divide it, you risk ruining the shape of it. It does grow in a nice kind of natural round clumpy shape. So if you put a spade through that and take a clump over to the other side of the garden, it does take a while to recover. And since having a go at growing it from seed the last couple of years, I just totally recommend growing it from seed because it's so super easy. Right, so there you go. And it does make a kind of nice cottage garden plant because the flowers are little blue cottagey garden flowers, and you can have them sort of at the front of a border or filling an awkward spot. So mine grows in a little bit of shade. It gets a little bit of shade in the morning. So there you go. That's my reasons for growing oregano. It's suitable for any sized garden. There's a space for it in everyone's garden, on a balcony, in a courtyard garden, in a pot, whatever. It's a brilliant plant to grow. It's super easy and it massively benefits the environment. More than I can say. It so intensively feeds the pollinators that it's just almost a crime not to grow it, at least for them. All right, thanks for listening. Hope you grow some oregano soon, and I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.